Hey Trenton, when you're older and retired, what kind of life do you want to have?
Well, I myself can't wait to be retired. Wake up every day, do the New York Times crossword puzzle, take the dog for a walk, meet some retired friends for brunch and backgammon. The life.
Would you ever see your retired self wanting to, I don't know, sail around the world?
Oh, heck no. Why do you ask?
Well, this next story will sure shock you then. Meet 80-year-old author and sailor Jimmy Cornell. On November 19th, 2020, he set sail from Seville, Spain, to circle the globe on a zero-emissions electric catamaran. At this point, you might be wondering why Cornell is sailing 32,000 miles around the Earth, and the answer is rather historical. He's honoring the 500th anniversary of explorer Ferdinand Magellan's famous expedition, which was the first to circumnavigate the globe.
Whoa, spending retirement sailing around the globe is pretty remarkable. And so is the first person to circumnavigate the globe 500 years ago. Ferdinand Magellan is the man.
Well, actually, Ferdinand Magellan himself did not circle the entire globe. Magellan's story is like a roller coaster at Six Flags. Lots of up and downs and even some vomiting. Let's now head to Oscar to learn more about Ferdinand Magellan in this week's edition of NexGen History.
Hey NexGen viewers, Oscar here with a bit of NexGen history. Today, we're going to travel back in time, over 500 years to meet one of my favorite European explorers, Ferdinand Magellan. Little Ferdinand is said to have been born in Sabrosa, Portugal in 1480. Born to Portuguese nobility, Magellan had quite the bougie childhood and served as a page to Queen Leonora. From a young age, Magellan was intrigued by the fame and riches of exploration, and he began studying astronomy and navigation. Soon enough, he began participating in Portuguese expeditions to places such as India and Morocco. But participating wasn't enough. Magellan wanted more, and what he wanted was fame and spices. Yes, you heard me right. Spices. In the 15th century, spices such as cinnamon, nutmeg, and black pepper were extremely valuable and the most important commodity in the world. These spices weren't grown in Europe, but instead in the Moluccas, or present-day Indonesia. Europeans had reached the Moluccas, or Spice Islands, by going east, but no one had found a western route to them. And this is where our friend Ferdinand Magellan comes in, and our roller coaster of a story begins. In 1517, Ferdinand Magellan first approached King Manuel of Portugal to support his western expedition to the Spice Islands, but the king repeatedly denied his petition. Not taking no for an answer, Magellan crossed the border and approached King Charles I of Spain, the same royal family that had funded Christopher Columbus's expedition in 1492. Although Magellan was Portuguese, the voyage was approved, and Magellan was feeling on top of the world. He departed Spain in 1519 with 5 ships and 270 crew members, most of which were of Spanish descent. After heading west and crossing the Atlantic Ocean, searching for a passage through South America, the expedition stopped at Port St. Julian in Argentina, sending 1 ship on ahead to scout. And this is where our roller coaster of a story takes a sudden turn. While stopped at the port, the Spanish captains of the crew carried out a mutiny, or tried to overthrow and kill Ferdinand Magellan, the Portuguese commander. Eye on the prize as always, Magellan stopped the mutiny, killed one of the mutinous captains, and left the other ashore in St. Julian. Meanwhile, the ship sent ahead to scout got shipwrecked. But luckily, the crew survived and joined the other ship. Crisis averted, for the moment. As the crew ambled on, they finally found the passageway through South America, now called the Strait of Magellan. After a month navigating the treacherous passageway full of seasick sailors, in November 1520, they emerged with a vast ocean before them. They were the first Europeans to ever reach this massive ocean. Magellan named it Mar Pacifico, or Peaceful Sea. Ironic given it's not peaceful, but nonetheless, it is now of course known as the Pacific Ocean. Magellan was back on top after discovering the Pacific Ocean, but this feeling did not last long. As they continued west, The crew got scurvy, ran out of food, and they resorted to eating leather. Yuck! Sounds like rock bottom to me. After almost 100 days without fresh food, the ships finally reached land in March 1521. In Guam, land ho! After replenishing, Magellan's fleet sailed to the island of Cebu in the Philippines. Magellan befriended the locals and was closer than ever to reaching his dream of finding a western route to the Spice Islands. Feeling on top of the world again, Magellan agreed to fight alongside the Cebu locals in their battle against the neighboring island of Mactan. During the battle, Magellan was shot with a poison arrow and then full-on attacked by the Mactans. Our pal, Ferdinand Magellan, died on April 27, 1521. You may be thinking our story is over and the credits are about to roll. But think again! With one ship left intact, fleet navigator Juan Sebastian Elcano took a chance and continued westward with the remaining crew. Elcano finally made it to the Moluccas, and boy did he load up on spices, cinnamon, nutmeg, and black pepper galore with a ship full of spices, but only 17 original crew members left at the 270 that started the journey. Elcano continued west all the way back to Spain on September 8th, 1522. Approximately 3 years after starting the expedition, they had completed the first circumnavigation of the globe. Although Magellan did not live to see the end of his roller coaster of a voyage, his planned expedition led to the discovery of the Pacific Ocean, a westward route to the Spice Islands in Indonesia, and the first circumnavigation of the globe. And that's the story of Ferdinand Magellan. Thanks for tuning in to NexGen History.